This is a review for King of New York with Christopher Walkin. So this is a movie from 1990. It's directed by Abel Ferrara, who did Bad Lieutenant in 1992 with Harvey Keitel. And this is a pretty good movie. It's not amazing, I'd say, but it's pretty good. Christopher Walkin is having the time of his life. You know, he's dancing around in some scenes. He's just playing it up like crazy. You could tell he really enjoys this role. And why wouldn't you? He's basically it's called the King of New York because he's a mob boss of this African American gang, with a young Lawrence Fishburn who's great in the movie. I'd say him and Chris Walkin are the best things about this movie. Big fan of Lawrence Fishburn. He's awesome. I mean, you know, eventually become Morpheus in the Matrix, and yeah, I mean, this movie has a great cast. It's a pretty good script. Let's see, I've seen Bad Lieutenant, but that was a while ago. It's a very strange movie. I mean, it's basically Harvey Keitel is basically crazy in it. Yeah, he's 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 pretty much nuts in that movie. Okay, so he directed Body Snatchers. I should rewatch that. I don't even know if I've seen that. I love this one from the 70s, but yeah, Abel Ferrara directed that. And I haven't really seen anything else from him, I don't think. Dangerous Game with Harvey Keitel, Madonna. What is that? Addiction, Funeral, The Blackout. Oh, he did that Padre Pio movie. I heard about that. Shia LaBeouf. Anyways, he's still making movies. I think this and Bad Lieutenant are his most famous movie. Probably Bad Lieutenant because that got a remake with Nicolas Cage. Yeah, which is actually a decent movie too. But very crazy. He's about corrupt cops, but basically, so this movie starts with Christopher Walkin. He gets out of jail. At one point, he says he spent half of his life in jail. And he meets back up with his gang. And the movie opens also with Lawrence Fishburne and Steve Buscemi. And they basically kill this other group of people. So that's a great scene. It's probably one of the best scenes in the movie. And Lawrence Fishburne's asking for a root beer. I don't know. It's a great scene. I mean, this cast, you got Christopher Walkin, David Caruso, Lawrence Fishburne, Wesley Snipes, Giancarlo Esposito, who was in Breaking Bad as the villain, Paul Calderon, who's in Pulp Fiction, Teresa Randall, and Steve Buscemi's in one scene. It's kind of weird. I don't think you see him again. So, but yeah, he gets out of jail. He meets up with them. He is basically getting his gang back together. and he's rivaling with another gang, or multiple gangs, and he's pretty ruthless. There's a really good scene on the subway, and these guys come up to him and they're gonna rob him. He shows them that he has a revolver, and he's basically staring them down. The guys kind of back off, and then he says, "Hey, if you want work, I got work for you. He's staying at the plaza." So great scene. And he ends up, he rivals with a couple gangs, and basically rivaling with the police. They're basically a gang too, led by David Caruso. His boss is Victor Argo, who doesn't like his tactics because he's kind of a corrupt cop with Wesley Snipes and a few others. And eventually they try to take Christopher Walkin out. You know, let's say not through the legal system. So, but yeah, I'll get into spoilers now. So, try to take them out, and it doesn't work out for them. They end up killing Lawrence Fishburn. It was funny. Lawrence Fishburne's in. Is it? Oh man. Is it Nightmare on Elm Street 3? I think. And I think that's the first movie I've seen. I mean, what movie? What year is that? Like 88 or 7 or something. And I think his name was Larry Fishburne originally, but. So they try and take him out, and that's a pretty brutal scene, and Lawrence Fishburne ends up getting killed. Couple of Caruso's guys end up getting killed. Wesley Snipes ends up getting killed. And then they have a funeral, and David Caruso's all angry, and he leaves early. Gets in his car, it won't start, and this is an incredible scene. And then Walkin in a limo pulls up right next to him, says, "Hey." He looks over. Walkin pulls out a double barrel shotgun, blows him away. So he basically kills David Caruso, a cop, in front of like 100 cops. Obviously, they don't see who did it. You know, he gets away with it. So yeah, I mean, a criticism of this movie I'd have is I think it's a little too long. It's like 2 hours long. I'd say this movie could be like an hour 40. You know, like you could cut off 15-20 minutes, but it's a pretty good movie. I mean, I think the first half's a little slow. The second half's really good. Second half it really picks up. Walkin goes to war with another gang. He kills them. He steals their stuff. He kills David Caruso and his gang, basically. Which, you know, Abel Ferrara would explore that more in Bad Lieutenant, police corruption. But yeah, I mean, I other than these two movies and his Body Snatchers movies, he didn't really make that many movies that I've seen. So I'll try and see. I'll try and watch his Body Snatchers movie. I hear it's okay. I mean, it's hard to top the '70s one. That one's so good. But yeah, and then Walkin basically. And an interesting thing about Walkin in this movie is he's a bad guy, but he's also shown to kind of care about the community that he's in. Because like there's this hospital, it's gonna be closed because it's like going bankrupt or something. And Walkin wants to keep it open. So he talks to like his lawyer, and I think he's like his financial advisor too. And he says he wants to do this. The guy says, "Don't do it. You're going to lose tons of money." And he doesn't care, and he does it anyways. So he spends millions of dollars. I think they refurbish it. They build like a new wing. There's a scene with him talking to another mob leader in the hospital in like the children's ward. So it's interesting. He's a bad guy, but he's not like it's like you hear about like the old school mobsters, and I don't know if it's true, but you know, like you kind of hear about that some of them kind of gave back to the community that they came up in. You know, like they wouldn't they wouldn't go after children, or women or mothers. You know, if they're not in the gang life, you know, like civilians. So you can kind of respect him on that. He's not totally unlikable. There's a scene with Lawrence Fishburne also. He's getting some food, and there's these kids, and they're with like their grandma, and they don't have any money for video games. And Lawrence Fishburne, because then the guy starts yelling at him at the food place, you know, to get away from the gaming machines because you don't have money. And Lawrence Fishburne like yells at the guy and says like, "Hey man, they're just kids, like leave them alone." He gives him a bunch of change. He gives the grandma like $100. He's really nice to her. You know, he says like, "Hey, like, you know, respect, but you know, here's $100." And he gives the kids a bunch of change. And then right after that, he's like arrested. But there's scenes like that. They're not totally unlikable, irredeemable characters. I think that's a testament to the script. You know, decent script. They're not just total boogeymen that are evil. And you kind of get that with the cops too. There's a scene with David Caruso and Wesley Snipes and some other bunch of the cops. Some of them are two of them are this man and this lady are getting married. You know, they're shows them off duty, relaxing, having fun. So it kind of humanizes. He humanizes a lot of the characters, and I think that's a testament to Abel Ferrara's direction and the script, and obviously great acting from all of them. So yeah, overall good movie. I'd say not amazing, but it's a solid movie. It's a little too long. Great actors. I'd recommend it to anyone. Especially if you're a fan of Lawrence Fishburne and Christopher Walkin. So, but yeah, I think that's about it. Check it out. King of New York, 1990. And like, comment, subscribe. That's it.